Now, you might have missed it, but there is a lot of things going on behind the scenes at various outlets, places like Amazon, GameStop, Walmart even, that are leaking information about the PlayStation 5, and a lot of information, including possible release dates and things like that, and prices, and pre-orders could be going up. In fact, by the time you get this video, pre-orders might have been up already, or they've announced when they will be up. And the main reason why I'm saying that is because that was the rumor that today at some point there was going to be pre-orders available on the PlayStation 5. But even with that taken out of the equation, there's other stuff about the PlayStation 5 that we didn't know that leaked out that sounds very, very cool, and I'm very excited to talk about it. And I think this is going to be a really good video because everybody's kind of wondering some of these other things. Like, we know what the PlayStation 5 looks like. We have a good idea about, some of the games we're going to get around launch or launch window. But there's other questions that are now answered. Hey, what's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel. Unfiltered and, of course, unscripted. That's me. Nothing worse than listening to somebody read off a script while watching a video of a teleconference or a press conference done by these video game companies, right? I mean, that's kind of lame. Got real gameplay. We got some fun, some entertainment. We're here for a good time, right? Let's have some fun. So anyway, like I said, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with some of these leaks and stuff like that. Like I also said earlier, you might have already had your chance to pre-order the PlayStation 5 by the end of today anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see if that was actually the case. But at any rate, I do think that this is going to be a pretty interesting video to cover because a lot of people wanted to kind of make fun of the PlayStation 5 due to its size, and it's bulky and it looks bad. It looks bigger, so much bigger than the Xbox Series X, blah, blah, blah. We heard this time and time again. Again, we keep hearing all these kind of things about the Xbox or about the PlayStation 5, and most of it from, the Xbox fans or fanboys that really kind of want to push the narrative to give Xbox a better chance next generation. Are they going to have a better chance next generation? Who knows? To be honest with you, as far as I can tell, no matter what Microsoft does right, it just seems like PlayStation's always going to beat them no matter what. So there is that, and I do feel like Microsoft is doing a lot of things right, but at the same time, there's obviously a little bit of wrong there as well. Like, it would have been nice for them to have been showing off some games actually running on it, some first party stuff before now, even if it was just one or two. Just because they literally showed the console and announced it last year and haven't shown anything actually running on it since that time. Meanwhile, Sony stormed out of the gates, and have already shown a bunch of stuff on the PlayStation 5, and we got that big, cool reveal and stuff like that. But anyway, even regardless of that, so we now know some interesting dynamics of the PlayStation 5 and what it's going to weigh, actually. So a lot of people think it's huge, right? But it's actually listed on Amazon, and it's lighter than the original PS3 model. So Amazon has listed the PlayStation 5 weight on its German website, revealing the upcoming next-generation console clocks in at a pretty hefty 10.5 pounds, 4.78 kilograms, which, I converted that. So that got me to thinking, right? That is pretty heavy. But how much are some of the Xboxes that we've had, okay? So now I had to look that up. The Xbox Series X apparently weighs in at almost 10 pounds at 4.45 kilograms. And the Xbox One X is 8.4 pounds, which is 3.81 kilograms. And the original Xbox was 8.5 pounds. So, listen, you have a half a pound more. Basically, that's what the PlayStation 5 weighs. So all this stuff about, it's so much bigger than the Xbox and this kind of stuff, we can kind of throw that out of the window because it does look like, that they're pretty much about the same. And then we also supposedly, and we don't know this for sure yet, but pre-orders are kicking off today according to a Twitter user who put down a deposit on a next-gen console at a GameStop in Ireland, posted a picture of his receipt and everything. Said that Sony hasn't said anything about putting pre-orders live today, so take this with a pinch of salt for the time being. It appears that GameStop Ireland have been taking pre-orders for the console since Sony's event in June, so it might not mean anything, but there are people saying that we will get some kind of announcement today for a price, also like a release date. If that does happen, listen, I might look stupid because this video comes out, like I record my videos obviously before they release. So, you know, I think it would be a bit of a mistake for them to announce a price before Microsoft does their thing on July 23rd. That's just my opinion. I would wait until Microsoft kind of comes out and does their own thing. But at the same time, you know, I really do think that Sony might really have faith in what they're doing. So if you have faith and belief that you're doing something right, and you think you have, you know, maybe Microsoft beat at a price or something, I think that you can then at that point go out there and, you know, maybe announce something. You know, like I think that realistically though, if your price is $4.99 for the regular and, you know, $4.50 or $3.99 for the digital, I would hold off on releasing that and just maybe wait a little bit longer just to get a confirmation, see what Sony does or see what Microsoft does, see how that's going to work out, because I do feel like Microsoft is going to try desperately to maybe outdo Sony in the price category, and we'll have to see how that works out. You know, I do think that Microsoft clearly, despite the fact that they keep saying, hey, you know, we're not really going to be in competition with Sony, I kind of disagree with that. I think they absolutely hate losing to Sony, and I think they absolutely would love to beat Sony in a head-to-head competition when it comes to their consoles. You know, just you just kind of get that feeling. So they can sit there and deny it all they want, but it's quite clear that they basically, even despite getting totally outclassed and beat this generation, they really kind of dictated a lot of stuff to Sony to realistically, you know, give Microsoft all the chances in the world for next generation. Now, follow me for a second with this line of thought. Crossplay between platform really benefits Xbox, because people before would have bought a PlayStation to play against their friends that have PlayStation. PlayStation is going to sell more worldwide. That's just a fact, okay? So Microsoft is like, okay, well, let's eliminate that whole, well, my friend bought that, so I have to buy that too. But it's still not going to help. You know, Game Pass, it's a good service, but again, it's a vastly different setup than what Sony is doing, you know, and now we see different instances like with Flight Simulator. That game's doesn't even have a release date on console, but it does for PC. And then it's like you get the bare bones version on Game Pass, but you got to pay $120 to get the full version because they're putting airports as DLC apparently behind a paywall. So there's all this kind of interesting dynamic between the two. Like, I do think Game Pass is a good thing for some people, but I don't think it's great for everybody. You know, and then you have all these features and stuff, and everybody just thinks that means that, you know, Microsoft is just going to really step in there and do a much better job. And they might, but at the same time, you know, I think that Sony wins by a lot every time for a reason, you know. I mean, obviously the PlayStation 3 didn't win, but it did get second place after starting really poorly. So with that being said, if Sony can, you know, come at it equal or under the Xbox prices, that's going to behoove them. If they can continue to show content that people really want to see, that's going to behoove them. People are going to really want to kind of go with Sony and stick with Sony. Look, 115 million people aren't just going to go, well, I guess I'll go to Xbox. You know, that's why backwards compatibility is important for this generation more than any other generation, right? Because this was the generation we all went in on digital. Okay, a lot of us bought digital stuff, including myself, right? I never thought that I would have done that, but I did. I went out and got digital stuff. And so with that being said, you know, I just kind of went in with digital, and I have, you know, if I count it on Xbox, I have almost 1,000 games and, you know, 400 and something on PlayStation. And I also have physical on both as well. So, you know, again, for me personally, it's something I never thought I would have done, is gone digital or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's just a much quicker kind of convenience thing for me. So that's why I did that. And so I'm not going to, you know, I'm a rare exception though, right? Because I have both and a bunch of games on both. Ideally, I'd like to get both, you know, but if somebody just spent this whole generation on PlayStation 4 and bought hundreds of games and nothing on Xbox, they're not going to give everything up and go switch to Xbox because it's got, you know, a teraflop and a half more power, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's going to be interesting to see how these things play off right away. We might get some information very shortly about, you know, release dates and prices and stuff like that. I only feel that Sony would do that if they absolutely knew they had Microsoft in a tough spot with their pricing as well. I will link this stuff in the description. If you're new to my channel, All new stuff I will link in the description. You can look down below. You'll see a link. If it's opinion, you don't need a link for that, as it's just my opinion. If it's a leak or a rumor, I try to link that because sites really run with that stuff nowadays. If I can. If I can't, and it's something that somebody told me in confidence and they want to keep kind of quiet and stay anonymous, then unfortunately I'll tell you to take it with a grain of salt and give you that information. I can't give up anybody that's a source of mine that's friendly like that, because then they would never tell me anything. So hopefully you guys understand that, and I'd be very interested to hear what you guys think about this. Sony, they desperately need, I think they need to undercut Microsoft, or at least come in at one of their SKUs has to be $3.99, I believe. One of them has to be. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments below. Twitter at @_Crapgamer, Xbox Live, MOH space Crapgamer, PSN, just Crapgamer, as always. Thank you so much for watching one of my videos. It really means a lot to me. You spend time with me on these. I put a lot of work in them. Thank you. Rack 'em up. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Game on. Crapgamer, out.
Unscripted.